My name's Tyler. I was diagnosed my freshman year of high school. It was a little strange. It was something that I really had to explain to my friends and my teachers, letting them know that, there were special things that I need.
He'd come to me a couple of weeks earlier and said, something's wrong. I'm drinking a lot of water and I'm peeing a lot. I said, go to school. I'll get an appointment for after school.
And I can remember sitting in my office and receiving a phone call from the pediatrician's office and talking to the doctor and him explaining that Tyler was about to be admitted to the emergency room at Oakland Children's Hospital and that he had juvenile diabetes.
The doctor said he has to go to the hospital right away. And I said, well, he has finals this week. Can he wait till after finals? And the doctor said, very nicely, said, no, this doesn't wait for finals.
I was shocked, first and foremost, but more than a little frightened that my brother had been diagnosed with this disease that I knew was life-threatening, but other than that, knew very little about.
I can remember Carolyn and I, however, just being a mess. Not only being upset, but also being in denial and being angry from time to time.
It was just shocking. I was totally unprepared.
The responsibility for helping him deal with his disease doesn't start and end with him. It's a group effort on the part of our family. If he's at school and I'm here, if we're apart, then I'm worrying about him on a daily basis.
Having type 1 diabetes is, it's complicated. It's not just living day by day anymore. It's living minute by minute.
I can remember saying something pretty stupid along the lines of, oh, juvenile diabetes, I guess he'll grow out of it, which of course you don't. It's something that we've all lived with now for a while.
Tyler's life really changed in that I think the one thing that I really begrudged this disease is that Tyler was always a carefree kid.
Having type 1 diabetes is a balancing act. You can't just eat a meal anymore. Every time I eat a meal, I need to think about what I'm eating, how much I'm eating, what I'm doing after.
After Tyler was diagnosed, I tried to help him adjust to his new condition by trying to normalize things for him. We bonded over that shared experience of uncertainty about what was happening with him.
I can't just necessarily walk out the door anymore with my friends. I need to make sure I have all the tools I need with me, because that puts stress on you, it puts stress on your friends, and it's just not a good place to be.
I can remember standing in the kitchen with him one afternoon about 6 months after he was diagnosed, and he was pricking his finger in order to test. And I can remember looking at him and saying, gee, don't your fingers get sore? And I remember he looked right back at me and said, well, sure, but Dad, this is what I have to do to live. This is what I have to do to live. And that's what he does. Since its founding 40 years ago, the JDRF has funded over $1.5 billion in type 1 research.
JDRF research is focused on improving the lives of people with type 1 diabetes today and in the future.
The JDRF funds more type 1 research than any charity in the world.
Thanks to your support, JDRF will find a way to cure, treat, and prevent type 1 diabetes.
Our family has made a pretty big bet on the JDRF, and when we looked at all the other alternatives, we're very convinced that this is the outfit that's going to get us to the goal line.
Diabetes has given me a lot of insight into mortality and how the body isn't exactly the strongest thing, and things break, things don't always go the way they're supposed to, and in light of that, it's really taught me to not take anything for granted, especially your health, and just to live life the best you can.
Mostly it means that he'd be able to live a normal life, and he'd be free.
Tyler's life changed. He was always very carefree, and this really took that away from him. It was a really endearing part of his personality, and not to say that he's not still somewhat carefree, but there's some of the light's gone out in that, I think, sometimes, and I would love for him to gain that back, and that's what a cure would mean for us.
Well, a cure would be everything, of course. I mean, it's not a day that's gone by since Tyler was diagnosed that I don't go to bed at night thinking about a cure, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm still thinking about a cure.
A cure is something worth chasing. It's like being in a race. It's something we're all going towards very quickly, and when we finally cross that finish line, it's going to brighten my world.